me a question like that, it's like coming back here is not easy. The racism that I played here, when I played here, the difficulty of going through different places where we traveled. Fortunately, I had a manager and I had players on the team that helped me get through it. But I wouldn't wish it on anybody. People said to me today, I spoke and they said, "You think you're a better person? You think you won when you played here in Concord?" I said, I would never want to do it again. I walked into restaurants and they would point at me and said, "The nigger can't eat here." I would go to a hotel and they say, "The nigger can't stay here." We went to Charlie Finley's country club for a welcome home dinner and they pointed me out with the N word. He can't come in here. Finley marched the whole team out. Finally, they let me in there. He said, "We're going to go to the diner and eat hamburgers. We'll go where we're wanted." Fortunately, I had a manager, Johnny McNamara, that if I couldn't eat, if I couldn't, thank you, if I couldn't eat in the place, nobody would eat. We'd get food to travel. If I couldn't stay in a hotel, they'd drive to the next hotel and find a place where I could stay. Had it not been for Raleigh Fingers, Johnny McNamara, Dave Duncan, Joe and Sharon Rudy, I slept on their couch 3, 4 nights a week for about a month and a half. Finally, they were threatened that they would burn our apartment complex down unless I got out. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. The year I came here, Bull Connor was the sheriff the year before. And they took minor league baseball out of here because in 1963, the Klan murdered 4 black girls, children, in 11, 12, 14 years old at a church here and never got indicted. It was, they were from the Klan. Life magazine did a story on them like they were being honored. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. At the same time, had it not been for my white friends, had it not been for a white manager and Rudy, Fingers, and Duncan, and Lee Myers, I would have never made it. I was too physically violent. I was ready to physically fight some. I'd have got killed here because I'd have beat someone's ass, and you'd have saw me in an oak tree somewhere.
Reggie, I can't even imagine. It's awful you had to go through that, but
Reggie Jackson last night, huge history making at Rickford's. Rick, say it again. Say it, country girl. Rickfordville. That's the old Negro League Stadium, Major League Baseball return. A huge night, and they did for the first time, I could say, everything right.
Yes.
Everything right. We're going to talk about that. Missy Elliott is coming back. She says she got 5 new albums that she's been preparing. She got them ready. But more importantly, we're going to talk about Missy Elliott's revelation of her health condition, which is extremely serious. Remember, did your mom or your grandmother watch the soap operas?
Yes.
They used to call them the stories, right? The stories, my grandmother, the stories. You couldn't mess with my grandmother when she was watching the stories.
You gotta be quiet.
General Hospital is still running.
Yes.
But there's a controversy there. The black actress was subjected to. You get a lot of hate on social media. She got some racial hate, and I was surprised to learn that Jeannie Francis. I remember that name. She was around like in the 70s, and she's still on General Hospital.
Yes.
And so we're going to talk about that this morning. American Airlines is formally apologizing. Remember that racist incident? They told the black people they smelled and they kicked them off the plane. And also Angel Reese. Angel Reese has set a WNBA record. We're going to talk about that this morning. But a thing happened last night. What's those things over there? What is that?
We're going to show both of them.
We're going to show them both? Oh, you don't want to do the honors?
You do it. We did it.
That's right. What that say? What does that say? What does it say? It says, in NPA, the National Newspaper Publishers Association's Black Press of America, the Black Excellence in Media Award. Now, Black and Excellence go together, don't they?
It does. It does.
Let It Be Known News, June 20th, 2024, Baltimore, Charm City, Maryland. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did it.
We did it.
We did it. And you know, Greer back there, she don't like the spotlight, but you know what? We had to bring her on stage last night, didn't we?
And did.
And did
And did.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, she's the architect.
She is. And, you know, Greer has put in some long hours.
Uh-huh.
Both of you have, honestly.
She
And,
kills me.
you know, but the way she's the architect behind things, logistically, she's getting things together. And most people don't even know what happens behind the scenes to get people to be on the show, especially like special guests and our contributors across Black Press. So shouts out to Greer. Like,
Well, and then her biggest, what she calls her biggest challenge and
Uh-huh.
complaint
mhm.
is trying to get me together.
No, listen, you are a lot. Shouts out to the real MVP, your wife. You know, you gotta make sure you give her.
No,
a
but
shout out.
she calls me all these names like what she say, bougie, or no, it's not bougie. What's the word? She always, you know, hard to please.
Okay.
But what is the word she used?
Stubborn?
She always says I'm something diva.
Oh, diva.
I mean, all that stuff. All that stuff. Dawn.
This is Austin and Barrington.
This is Austin and Barrington's award too.
Yes, and
Austin,
Randy.
and totally Randy. And so Austin, you know, he decided to boycott us this week. He's watching, but you know, he's only a few feet away somewhere. You know, he's in DC somewhere. He's not in Africa somewhere with some president or ambassador like he usually is. He could have came on down.
Well, he said he was working, didn't he? He's working.
We had things for him to work on here, didn't we? but and Power 96, your eyes are not deceiving you.
Mm.
The red bone, as you call her, is definitely wearing a bathrobe.
Yes, a fresh face.
It's a bathrobe.
It was a rough night. It was a rough night.
Why
You
was
know?
it so rough? The
after
after party was lit
Listen, I be looking forward to that. I was the bartender, you know, for a little bit.
For a little
you know,
bit.
So got a little rough last night.
Got a little rough?
Got a little rough.
Oh, there's songs about that.
What song are you talking
No. I don't know. I don't want to get you started too early.
Frankie Beverly After the Morning? No, not that one.
I mean, you can include that in the playlist.
So let's do that one.
Michelle Madison says she thought that was a role.
Come on, bro.
And then look, Mike B says, I thought that was a new outfit from Fashion Nova.
Absolutely not. You will never see me in Fashion Nova. Absolutely not.
Unless they sponsor the show.
Oh, not if they sponsor something. Yes,
Okay.
but not when not.
Can you see it though? Let it be known. The award-winning.
Let it be known.
Sponsored by, brought to you
Walmart.
by.
Walmart.
Now we really get ghetto.
Target.
We get sponsored by Walmart. That means in the background we got to have some people stealing and fighting.
No, they're not gonna do that.
Why not? We got to keep it real.
Listen, every Walmart. Listen, there are some nice Walmart.
Yeah, some nice Walmarts.
Yes.
Weird. Okay, I didn't think so. But Dawn is among so many other things. She's a sports aficionado.
Mhm.
Last night was a huge night, and they did it right. Major League Baseball did it right.
They do.
Going back there, they fixed that field up first of all, and it looked beautiful.
Yes.
They have the old Negro League players, the surviving
Mhm.
players, come out, throw out the first pitch, and be participating. We heard Reggie Jackson talk about his experiences down in Alabama and when he was playing. The other day we had, yesterday, God, time it gets away from you. Make It Plain talking about Willie Mays, and huge tribute, of course, last night to Willie Mays. But the tribute really was to all of the Negro League, and also Fox. This is why I say they did it right. This is part of why I said they did it right, because for a half inning last night, they played. They showed the game as if you were watching old black and white TV, and so that was look.
Not
See,
the phone
look.
going off.
This is what happens when you wear a bathrobe on the show.
Siri wanted to come in?
Siri was like, "What y'all talking about? Y'all talking about Negroes?
No.
Is Siri's racist? Because I thought I heard like
she
Reggie.
was trying to tell us about the field. Like,
Oh,
she gave us the history.
okay. just
But
trying to
like,
make sure.
that's amazing because can you imagine watching baseball during that time and really seeing people that look like you? You know, like especially during a time where Reggie Jackson talks about not being able to eat in restaurants, when he was called to his face, the threats that they received, all of the things, and he's adamantly and strongfully, because you can tell that these men are still holding on to that, or that trauma that comes with it. And I think that that's what America is missing from the conversation around, like critical race theory or DEI or affirmative action. There are things that our people that are still going through that they could never understand.
Right.
But the thing is you can empathize. You can comprehend, because the thing is there are people like that are walking amongst us right now that would like to see that time come back.
So this is the thing too, when we talk about reparations and things of that, they put this stuff on social media. This Hispanic woman who's been in the country for 5 minutes talking about Black people out of their minds, blah, blah, blah. They don't deserve reparations. The systemic racism, and like you said, you hit the right word, the trauma from that still exists from the transatlantic slave trade, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, Black Wall Street, all of that, redlining and gentrification. This was the idea that continues to go on in this country, particularly with the so-called conservatives. Is the idea of just taking the dignity from Black men, and of course continue to abuse physically, mentally, emotionally Black women. And so reparations would only begin to start the process of healing. See, we've never even started the process of healing.
Yeah. And I think that's the part that we keep asking for. Like and at a point, right, to be honest with you, we're tired of asking.
Sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Fannie Lou Hamer till I die. Let me tell you something. Mississippi, yes. My mama up in here, y'all. Hey, mama.
Hey, mama.
But no, we're tired of asking for the thing. In a lot of ways, we're just asking people to recognize that shit happened. Or is
the whole idea is that it happened, and they want you to now believe that it didn't. Or as some idiot, the North Carolina lieutenant governor,
that man,
it wasn't that bad. So who? And then the Florida governor, there was benefits slavery. Yeah, benefit who?
Them, you know, and I seeing something happen like that at Rickwood Field,
that's right. Let it be known.
is amazing.
It is,
and so I also want to touch on, because I did see a lot of the discourse or conversations, because we were
doing our thing, partying,
having a good time. But I do want to see the conversation around some of the people that I follow, the Black people that I follow, and how the Major League Baseball league as a whole, right, did this. Who put this together? Who thought of this? First of all,
it was an all-Black umpiring crew as well.
They were very intentional down to every last detail, and it was a full rollout. Like, there was a podcast series that Roy Woods Jr. did, which I thought was fun. It has been phenomenal. And hearing these stories, but you can tell that in some of these stories from the Negro League players that are still living, you can hear there's still trauma there. There's still hurt there. And these are people who we're kind of like a generation removed from this, right? It's right there. They're still living. They're able to tell their story. So I think the intention behind the MLB doing this says a lot, especially when we have seen things coming from these baseball teams that has not been in favor of Black people. We've seen an influx of more Latinx players coming and taking over the league, and we're in support of them, and some of them have acknowledged their Afro like their history or what
Mhm.
have you. And being very bold about, no, I'm Black and, and that's important to the game. But I will be honest in saying that we're starting to see more Black players reemerge into this league, especially, when we saw a lot of these Black players coming from the South who were getting drafted in the MLB, and they're doing well. Like they're doing amazing. So you're starting to see it happen again, and we're starting to see what that new generation would look like. But I would love to see some of those young men who got, recently drafted sit in a room with these players, right? And have that conversation, because I think that could be like the disconnect for a younger player, not really realizing what was given up or sacrificed in order for you to be able to play this game.
So you laid it out perfectly. And the thing, they did it right. They did it, they did to the detail. But that also, just to briefly go back to that whole reparations conversation, that also shows you that, and so Major League Baseball is run by white folks. It shows you that they can do these things if it was what they want to do.
Yes, the money is there.
The money has always been there. Yes. And Rosa Barron says intentional. Yes, they did it right. Mike B says, I wonder what Byron Donalds has to say about Reggie Jackson. Do you still think Jim Crow was a good time for Black family and specifically Black men in baseball? And about that, right? Think about Reggie Jackson. And we're talking about the Negro leagues, right? Reggie Jackson is a lot younger than those.
A lot younger.
So imagine what they went through. So we saw what Reggie went through.
Yeah, and I think also the other thing we have to talk about is the recent Baseball Hall of Fame. We got an opportunity to see that they have a new exhibit, highlighting some of these accomplishments of these players, and that's amazing. But also the intention on including the women in baseball, like Tony Stone, like those women who they played the game too. And they were respected by, the players, and their stories matter as well. So it's like the intention that the MLB has done since Cooperstown leading up to this moment. Rick Wood, like Birmingham, you should know you are loved. You should know that you are appreciated. And I think that that's a beautiful thing to see, especially knowing the history of the city of Birmingham, the history of Alabama. I tell people a lot of times when they ask me where I'm originally from, and I'm like, I'm from Mississippi, and their whole face goes ghost, or they're like, what? Are you kidding me? And I'm like, no, I'm proud to be from Mississippi, because yes, the history is there, but you have to be honest with yourself and knowing that that type of history is everywhere across this country. And the thing is, for me, I know the history. I've learned it. I've studied it. I'm telling my kids about it. But the beautiful thing about it is that what I've seen with my generation is we're challenging it.
Right.
We're not erasing it. We're not trying to say that it doesn't exist, but we're challenging it, and we're showing a different side of of Mississippi. So that's why I think that was a great thing for the MLB to choose this field and be into, because they could have said, we're going to do it at Yankee Stadium. 100%. We're going to do it in Tampa somewhere, or we're going to do it in Cali, and fly everybody out there. No, they chose Birmingham, and they chose this field for a reason.
And to so last night was really a great night. I mean, show that again, because they're award winning. Let it be known. So what I like about that most, I have to say it again. It says Black excellence in media. Black excellence. So right there you go, Black excellence. And we were shocked. We were surprised. And I thought the NNPA fund, Karen Carter Richards, and of course the NNPA, Bobby Henry, the chairman, they really surprised us. We almost wasn't even paying attention. And to be honest with y'all, the reason why, first of all, I have to write about the awards, but number two, because I my attention span is like so. But what kept it going, to be totally honest, kept our attention. This one here. Listen. This one here.
I be rooting for everybody.
She's
But
rooting for
But
everybody.
it's clear who my favorites tend to be.
Well, yeah, that too. That too.
But huge shouts out to the home team, the Atlanta Voice. Like Donnell Suggs was in the building, so that he could receive the awards for the Atlanta Voice.
And let me say this too about the Atlanta Voice. This week is a special week too. Seeing Janice Ware again. We haven't seen her since the unfortunate passing of James Washington, her husband, who and I have make no bones about saying this, and hopefully, and I could care less if anybody takes offense, but of all of I've been in the Black press now, this is my 11th year. If I had to pick one man, I'm excluding the women because the women take the lead. But James is a man with backbone. James is a man who we say stand on business. James always stood on business. He and I could talk. And he's straight shooter. No jiving around. No, as you say, BS or whatever. James gave it to you straight. And James, if he said something, and one of the reasons that I keep mentioning James when I get a chance is that this program may not exist if it wasn't for James Washington, because there was a lot of folks that we're gonna keep their names out of it, that did everything in their power to make sure that it didn't happen. James Washington, yes, I'll never forget, he said, if anybody has a problem with this show, you tell them to come see me.
Come see him.
He said, I will do whatever is in my power.
And he made sure to be on the show.
And he made sure to be on the show.
A lot of this show starts early, and for a lot of our publishers that are on the West Coast, it's very hard to get them on the show. But I think the beauty that James Washington brought to just Black press as a whole was he was generally a spokesperson, no matter where.
Love the Black press.
If he was in proximity to anybody, like just walking down this Riverwalk, he probably would have told that woman right there holding her coffee, do you know what's going on in the Four Seasons?
Yes.
Like, do you know that there's some amazing Black people in there? What do you do for a living? Like, he would have made the connections, or he would have said, you need to know what's happening right here because of the people that are here. And it was beautiful to see Janice there. She was beautiful. She was so graceful and like, oh my God, that was just beautiful. And the fact that to see her after all of this and how the Black press has been holding her up and supporting her has been a beautiful thing, because we are a family.
But you know what? The Black press has been holding her up and supporting her even through all of this, and I'm sure that she's going to be going through it for quite some time. She's holding all of us up.
That part.
And that's the thing that I love and love about James and Janice, period. Two of the finest that we have.
Like, they always think of others.
Yeah. And James was just extremely the man to me. He was just the man. I appreciated him.
So St. Louis American, they were
cleaning up.
Like, you talking about a sweep.
and that hadn't happened in a while, because there were some people over the last few years who was like, what happened to the St. Louis American? They last night they showed up and they showed out.
They showed out. I told that young man that you stand at the stage, because every time you saw him.
Look, and so with those awards, there's checks that come with those awards, right? And homeboy, you kept saying, he kept dropping the check.
You can't lose the money.
You can drop the award, but not the check.
Lord Jesus. So we heard St. Louis American. Of course, we heard Mr. Larry Lee.
Yes, Larry won his share. He won 6 awards last night. He was the reigning publisher of the year.
Yes.
Which he wore that title proudly. He earned it. And 6 awards is nothing to hang your head about, especially since he's coming off publisher of the year. And last year he swept everything.
So the SAC Observer, they swept everything last year. So it's like the work that's coming out of Black press right now, I will put it up against anybody, right? Like, because there are a lot of newsrooms that have lost quality quality,
100%,
quality,
100%.
quality reporting, quality people.
Yep.
And it's just so important for people to really, really support the Black press, because
100%.
we are the people who are getting you the news, and we're getting it to you right? And
So let me say this too.
I think all of these publishers are doing amazing.
They are, and you know, when there's awards, there's
Mhm.
always a little bit of controversy on
Yeah.
who
Mhm.
was left out or whatever.
Mhm.
Now, this is what mainstream fails to do. Like, they co-opt everything that we do, right?
Every time.
Now, some of our papers
Mhm.
over the years have hired white folks,
Okay.
right?
Right.
White reporters.
Mhm. Mhm.
We don't have a lot of them. We have
Right.
some.
Right.
And we don't mind. See how Black people operate? We don't mind giving you a little shine if you earn it. So I say that to say this. The Washington Informer was robbed last night of the environmental award. And I mentioned all the white Black stuff because there's this young lady. She was with the Informer for 2 years. She just left it just a couple of weeks ago. She went up, moved on, and that was the plan. She had a 2-year grant. Kayla Benjamin, no better environmental writer that I had come across.
And we need that right now. Like you need to recognize people like that, because there are not a lot of us doing that type of reporting. There are not a lot of us that are platformed or championed to actually go into the field and find these stories. There's one Black media outlet that I'll shine a light on in regards to environmental reporting and justice and all of those things, and that's Capital B. Capital B has done an amazing job with all of their newsrooms and finding the stories, like especially like Capital B Atlanta. Oh my God, there are things that they're reporting on, and I'm like, I know these things. Like we know so much because we're in it, but you don't really realize that the general public or people that are in our families don't really know those type of stories, because you're not generally talking about those things. So shouts out to them as well. And I think that it's always important to make sure that that's known. Like let it be known. Let it be known.
And like, we have to be and before we move on, we mentioned last year's Publisher of the Year.
Yes, and this
year was so special. So special. Not only beautiful. Not only because the host city of our conference this year is Baltimore, but because of all of the things that she's been able to accomplish. Joy Bramble started the Baltimore Times. She started the Baltimore Times in her kitchen back in 1985. And as she walked right past. And Joy has worked as hard as anybody. And here we are in 2024, right? 40 some odd years later, Joy is recognized in a way that she totally deserved. Publisher of the Year.
And it was beautiful to kind of see her and Paris Brown interact at the opening reception. And literally we got a clip of that on Black Press USA's Instagram page where you see the passing of the baton. And I don't think I've been in Black Press maybe 5-7 years, but I've been with NNPA for 2, and more than 2, probably 2 or 3, and I don't think I've ever physically seen a publisher kind of do the pass the baton type situation, because that's always been something that for me as a millennial or a younger generation person that's in Black Press, I'm worried about that succession plan. Like I'm worried about, okay, if this is a family legacy and maybe your family hasn't been active, then who are you trusting? To carry that baton.
But isn't that true with so many Black businesses? That
Black businesses, period.
We had there was a panel, Wells Fargo, yesterday hosted a panel, talk to our publishers about wills, about the future, things that Black folks in general estate planning. We just don't do.
My mom's in here and she'll probably comment, but I think I'm one of the first people in my family to genuinely and intentionally have my estate planning done. Now, mind you, it was because of a health issue.
Right.
It was because of a health scare at the time. And I've always had a will since I had kids. I think my oldest son, he's turning 19 this month, and I'm 40, so y'all can do the math. Whatever. I'm still fine. Anyway.
She's still wearing a robe.
Right. So ever since I was like 21, 22, I've always
What's
had
under the robe?
Look,
I was only kidding. I was kind of curious.
But I've always
Power 96 was definitely.
Look, I know he's gonna enjoy that.
Uh-huh.
I've always had a will since I was 21. So when I've either had a will, I've had life insurance, I've had, I've always tried to make sure I have health insurance. And the older I got, the more I had to learn about trust funds, like not just trust funds, but just your trust, like your living trust. And I'm like, oh, I got trust fund babies. You know what I'm saying? They ain't millionaires. We're doing those things.
Yes, and the point, and I enjoyed from that part I got from Wells Fargo. The point is that it's not just, of course he's asking. It's not just normal or poorer Black folks who don't do wills and estate planning, but as was mentioned, you have people like Prince didn't have a will, right. Aretha Franklin didn't have a will.
Athletes, you see some of these athletes that make millions and close to maybe billions of dollars, and when they pass away, their family has to fight over who gets access to money. And it's not necessarily an internal fight; it's an external fight, because you have to think of the people who are not only agents or other people who have some type of property involved with the athlete, and they're like, no, they passed. I'm supposed to get it, and so. In general, it's just something that's not consistently talked about. And we also have to mention it wasn't allowed for us to have access to these things or to create these things. Like, I can remember my grandmother telling me that a family member had to write their will on a napkin.
Aretha Franklin wrote hers on a napkin and put it in the couch.
And they kept it under the mattress.
Yes.
Where the extra money was. Like, those type of things, to know that they couldn't go into a bank or they couldn't go to an attorney and say, can you help me draft this thing so that I can make sure that my family can keep their land? Because if we're being honest, that's why we started seeing people lose their
lands
since the last election, because people were finding out that these families did not have those things.
Yep. And so Mike V brings up another point. The hurricane, yes. But that's where Mike V is kind of going too. Look, he says estate planning is hard when you don't have $400 in savings for unplanned emergencies.
Yeah.
But isn't that a system? We went back to reparation, right? Reparations, right? We've been put in a situation where, Mike, you're absolutely right. Many can't find $300 or $400 in an emergency, and that's not our own doing.
No, it's not. Not at all. So, and I think that's why you have to kind of extend grace, because a lot of times when these celebrities do pass or these athletes do pass and they don't have these things, do you not know, like, maybe that wasn't the thing that they were thinking about? Like, do you not know that maybe they, some of these people think they're invincible. Baby, you gonna die.
Bottom line, right?
Like, you gonna die. So why not make sure that you can kind of give your family some peace, because they know what your arrangements are going to be. They know who needs to have access to X, Y, and Z. I think a lot of times when those of us get sick, that's when we start thinking of those things. And when you do think of those things, please see it through. Like, actually put a plan in place so that your family can be better off and not have to wonder what they're supposed to do. So shouts out to my mama, because she done already told us what we're going to do.
Shout out to the mama. So how does this song go?
Oh Lord.
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
But no twerking.
Yeah.
You're shimmy.
Right. So that leads us to the one and only, the Hall of Famer, Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott says she has about 5 albums that are now ready to be released. She hasn't released an album since 2006, but there's been more to her story.
Yeah,
Graves' disease.
Yeah, she was diagnosed with Graves' disease back in 2008, right after she had lost a lot of weight. Now, this is before Ozempic, Ozempic, all of the things, but we recognize the weight loss. We recognize the change in her appearance. And I think the beautiful thing about us as people, one thing we're going to notice weight loss. But the second thing we're going to do is, what's wrong with you? What's going on? Like,
Right.
what do you need? Like, there's concern around that.
Right.
And I think Missy has done a beautiful job in navigating how she shares her story, how she controls her narrative. Because even when people were talking about those things, she did kind of like, she would comment here and there, depending on how someone tweeted her or posted about her.
Right.
But in general, for her, someone like Missy, I think Missy has a lot more to tell us.
Yeah.
I think she has a lot more music to give us. So this is beautiful that she's coming. But Missy, you know, like you, Beyonce, everybody need to get in the room, and y'all need to coordinate when y'all do this mess, because we don't have no money. Like, what we supposed to do when you get ready to go on tour? Like, everybody's credit cards is maxed out, not mine. But you know, to be fair,
why is that? You're really a good financial person.
I'm a good financial person, and I like to be sponsored. But anyway, but to be fair, no. I like to be sponsored.
Okay.
But anyway,
I just wanted to make sure I heard that.
Someone like Missy, that's a tour or a concert you have to attend, because Missy she's been doing other things behind the scenes. People have learned more about what she has done. People have been surprised if she sung backgrounds for a song or she was doing certain things. Like, people don't even understand how much of a genius she is.
Yeah,
like,
and listen, I wanted to mention that too. So Michelle Madison is mentioning that as well.
Oh.
Michelle, reach out to Greer, by the way. Michelle was here the other day. She got to talk and see Joy herself, and it was so great to see Michelle Madison. But she says Missy Elliott has a street named after her in Portsmouth, Virginia.
I love it.
Yeah, she does.
I want a street name.
You want a street name?
In Mississippi,
I think you're on your way.
I'm there.
Yep.
Yep.
It's gonna be probably Avenue instead of street.
That part, but no, like, yeah, I genuinely, I'm excited for her.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that she's talking about it.
Yeah.
I've seen some women
because somebody says it's good to hear Black people be transparent about their healthcare. Might be.
I was getting ready to say that. I think one of the things that helps me connect with people online is how honest I am about life, health, family matters, things like that. And so to see a Missy come out,
right.
This is what I've been dealing with. Now that I've got it under control, I want to talk about it. I want to help other people, and I hope people really take that to heart and really go get your levels checked. Go to the doctor. Schedule your doctor's appointment today, right now. Go get your stuff checked out. Don't be tweeting and talking crazy online if you don't know your blood cholesterol and all the other stuff. You ain't got your hormone panels checked, and half the time that's part of the reason why you mad, because your throat swole. You know what I'm saying? Go get your stuff checked out. Like,
But you touched on it, and you're absolutely right. Maybe you can, just for another 30 seconds or so, expand upon it, that the importance of a Missy Elliott telling us about Graves' disease.
The importance of Missy Elliott telling us about Graves' disease is also a point of, there are more Black women that are dealing with this issue that have not been honest about sharing their struggles. I know of 3 women personally that are in my life that have had to deal with it, and only one of them have actually publicly talked about her process of going to the doctor, trying new medications, sharing her side effects to some of the medications and all of the things. And I just think that it's so important to see someone of influence, someone of position, and let me give her some power, because she's a powerful person, saying, this is what's wrong with me. This is how I'm going to go seek help. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I can pray it away. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I can. Yes, we can do all of the holistic things that we possibly can do, but there are doctors put on this earth for a damn reason. Now, I know I wasn't supposed to say that.
Well,
got to clear that up.
Shonda H says, I can respect it that if they want to share. I can also respect that they choose to keep parts of their life private regarding aspects of their health.
Sure. I mean, that's just like what was his name? Bozeman.
Chadwick. Yeah.
we understand why he had to keep that, you know, a secret, because look at how people responded when it finally came out, and how his family were able to deal with his estate quietly, you know, like, yes, we get that. So I think she's at a place, and I could be speaking for her a little out of turn, but I think she's at a place where she's comfortable to say, I think I got my body and my mind in check. I can handle what comes with it, because people can be real nasty when you share your journey. And I think she's in a better place because I think she's got things in place to be better, you know, because that's another thing too.
So real quick, we need to move on to the next topic. But before we do, again, I want to go back to Shonda H, because she says Beyonce doesn't have to be present, charging $500 for concert tour tickets to go on tour performance. That's taking but where I want to go with that though is of late, Chris Brown has gotten a lot of heat. There's our boy, Picture May. But Chris Brown has gotten a lot of hate. The $1,100 for a picture with Chris Brown. Now, I don't hate on Chris Brown for that, because if you're gonna pay me $1,100 to take a picture with me, then so be it. But the other part of that is that at least two of the women that took these pictures and their man left them. Listen, one was getting married.
Let me tell you something. If you're insecure, just say that.
Well, it was good for her that he left, right? At that point, before they got married.
It is. And my thing is I think people don't understand true fan culture, right? I am pretty positive that if Kanye didn't go down the hill that he went, that if I ever met Kanye, listen, y'all wouldn't be able to tell me nothing, okay? But when I say this shows immaturity, it shows like you can't be excited for your woman to have her moment with her favorite.
It's like the Usher thing, right? With our girl.
Listen, let Usher do that to me. Please.
No, but you remember that? Obviously, we all remember what happened last year with what's her name? Kiki. Kiki. We love Kiki.
Yeah, we love Kiki. And Kiki was right to be like, you know, that was a girls' night out. That was a good time. Usher was giving a show.
It was
and
a
you
show.
mean to tell me you're mad because of what she wore to the thing, because she was being seen and she was going viral for that moment? No, just speak on your insecurity, because and then that also revealed just as a culture how people view Black women in these particular spaces, right? Oh, she's a groupie. Oh, she's this and that. No, she paid for a picture. If I was them two, I would pay for me a picture. If that's somebody I want to pay $1,100 to, I'm not gonna do it. But my point is, I guarantee you that will be framed up on my wall. Look at when your grandma was fired. Look at how I was a hot girl right here. Like that's the type of thing that I think they're missing and they're not understanding. Like, let me be a fan for a moment. I'm coming home. I'm gonna cook your breakfast. We gonna be all right.
You gonna cook the breakfast?
I'm gonna cook the breakfast. I don't do
grits.
Look, grits, no sugar.
No sugar.
Be clear.
That's right. That's right. And Tamara says that if he leaves you over a pitch of good riddance.
Exactly, Tamara. Thank you.
Yeah. Power 96 is not feeling it though.
He said, I wish my wife would.
He said it'd be the fastest divorce in history.
No.
1,100. I think he's talking more about the $1,100.
Yeah,
he says he will buy a Crawford.
It's a bit extreme. I'm not paying that. I'm not paying that for nobody. I don't care.
Right. That part I don't get. The whole fandom, you know, Chris Brown. So speak this real quick, because speaking of Chris Brown, I think it was Fat Joe. It was Fat Joe who said, if that situation with Rihanna never happened, Chris Brown, we'd be talking about him the way we talked about Michael Jackson.
Absolutely not.
Thank you. I agree with you, and not Fat Joe.
No, like I'm gonna need Fat Joe to just be quiet sometime, you know. And the reason why I say that is because no one can touch Michael Jackson's legacy and what he was to us. Like, and what he still is to the younger generation. Like, you've got younger kids
musically
that are literally looking, musically, let's be clear. You got younger kids who are now listening to his music, having those same, you know, feelings or emotions, going viral, because it's shocking to see kids actually respond to him like that when they don't even know who he truly is, right?
Right.
So No, Chris Brown could never.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's
and-
so interesting with Michael
and I
because
get it.
it's like generation after generation. Generally, you're in a generation,
Mhm.
right? Look at my wife says. So if I take a picture like that with Method Man, are we good? Of course we good.
Yeah, girl, you better get your picture with
Listen,
Method Man.
this is the same woman. What I tell you last night? This is the same woman who
Listen.
said, who
Sis.
proudly said when
Uh-huh.
I was going in about, you know, me and Rihanna and me and Rihanna's 2 kids. She's the same woman who proudly announced that, oh, that's fine. Rihanna, you and me are in a group.
In a trouble, yes.
Yeah. So why would I get mad?
But Method Man is Method Man. Like you.
Oh
you
Lord,
mad.
here we go. Look at Greer fanning.
Get mad. Get mad if you want to. That's our man. Okay.
And she talking like that in the bathroom.
Listen, in a
Power
bathroom,
96, come get her. Come get
In
her,
a
Power
bathroom.
96. She in the bathroom
Call-
talking like Method
Call
Man.
me.
What is it about Method Man? Come on.
It's
Look, Greer.
look, I think one of the things, me personally, is being able to watch someone in hip hop grow old, right? And own it.
Oh, shucks. She over here.
Own it.
Y'all
Like,
might as well just start twerking.
he owns it.
Good
and,
Lord.
And he is taking care of himself. Like
I'm a hater.
We have
She
a
says
lot,
I'm a hater.
we have a lot of hip hop legends
Power 96 is on the way.
who aren't taking care of themselves. You can visibly see it. And someone like a Method Man, you know he has a good woman by his side that's really like making sure he's good and he's taking care of himself. He's talked about his mental health. He's talked about the things that he's going through. Listen, and him and Redman's
They having a fit over here, y'all. Y'all can't see Greer.
Look,
You-
he asked. He asked, and we're gonna give it to him. We're gonna let it
Look,
be
I
known.
listen, and I look, Shanae probably in the bed right now watching, and it just. I mean, come on, do you got clothes on, Shanae?
Look, I love
Because this
you,
one ain't
Shanae.
got much on either.
Look, I got on leggings. Like we're not gonna do this. Everything
Good
that's covered
Lord.
needs to be covered.
Look, Rosa Barron says him still fine.
Him still
Him
fine.
still
mama.
fine.
Yes.
Y'all ain't right. Listen, James Brown was like the MJ of his generation. Michael Jackson was the top tier artist, performer, and singer in his generation. And Chris Brown is the closest to MJ of his
No,
generation. They're all
no,
great, Shonda
no.
says.
No, I feel like there's someone else.
Yeah, I don't think, I can't. You know my history with Michael Jackson. The one thing I can't,
Like,
and
if-
nobody can take away from Michael Jackson. Even, you could be a hater or whatever, but there was only one Michael Jackson.
There was only one.
It was
Just
only
like there
one.
was only one Prince. Like,
Oh,
it's like,
now you
like, if
talking.
you- like that's what it
Yes.
is. There's only one Beyonce. Like there's
Yeah.
only one. Like
But the true test of time is Michael Jackson. He's the true measuring stick because, as we stated earlier, it's generation after generation after
Yes.
generation, and it's still it's almost like it's almost like there are days you feel like Thriller just came out.
yeah.
It's almost like the video just came.
Yeah.
He has that. Yeah, he's timeless. That's what I'm trying. Thank you. Great. See, that's why Greer won that award for us. Timeless. That's right. Wait, don't forget this one too. Shoot. Wait a minute. Look, I'm like the guy at St. Louis American. We won. Yeah, Mike. Oh no, we don't want to lose y'all over there. But Michael is Michael, and Tamara says Chris Brown is the Bobby Brown of his generation. Now everybody's agreeing with that, Tamara. Everybody's agreeing with you on that. Now, okay, we got to get to this other topic.
Stories.
Yeah, the stories. That's what my grandmother. You could not interrupt. I mean, you better sit still. And my grandmother had the plastic on the couch and everything. So if you move, you're gonna make some noise. What you doing? She, sit on the floor and don't move. You can't. If you got to go to the bathroom, you got to wait till the commercial. And one of the stories that she watched was General Hospital. And so this young lady, Tabyana Ali.
Tatiana.
No, it's Tabyana.
Who's Tatiana?
Yes. I thought it was Tatiana Ali is from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah. But he says they be tripping.
Plastic.
But some racist comments online, and General Hospital came out to her defense. But I want to get to her quotes because I love her response. So they made all these motions. Made all these postings. And this is what she says. She says, to anyone that hates me, this is the perfect response. And you'll be giving some great responses too, some perfect responses. But she says, to anyone that hates me, that's absolutely fine. I don't know you and you don't know me, but regardless, I'm sending you peace, safety, and prosperity. I also pray you touch some grass, see the sun, eat a delicious meal, and find something to do.
Peace and love. I think that that's beautiful. I think the other beautiful part about this conversation is how General Hospital took it upon themselves
Yes.
to speak up against this, because also the white woman who decided to be very ignorant this particular day was someone who deemed themselves as one of the top like super fans of this show. Miss Ma'am, do you not realize how integrated that show was, or how that show was in Black households like every day?
Every day.
And so the fact that you're sitting up here claiming that you're this super fan of this particular show and not realizing the racial implications behind either the context of the show, the favorite characters, or the fact that Black women just in general could escape for at least an hour and watch this show and enjoy it, like that was their trash TV. So it's like, if you wanted to be trash for the day and be taken out, that was fine.
And
But
mind you, remember when the advertisers they were not speaking to Black women.
Correct. They were not.
Black women
Right.
sell soap
right.
during.
Right.
Let's remember that.
So that's important to kind of point that out and give them a shout out for like, no, don't come over here with that, and I think that says a lot, especially with people getting rid of like DEI initiatives and things like that, and walking away from diversity now, which we've seen over the course of like 2 years, people backtracking in companies, like disinvesting dollars and things like that. But I feel like if we had more companies, brands, and just people in general combating this head on and not allowing people to just say what they want to say, I think we would probably be a better place, especially social media.
Yeah.
Like if you can genuinely just go ahead and speak up for the person that's being targeted and impacted and affected by this. Speak up for them. I deal with this every day. I literally was just sharing how someone was upset seeing me celebrating Juneteenth the way that I was, and asking me why I wasn't doing community service and all of the things. Baby, my entire life, especially for a lot of Black people, especially Black women, my entire life has been about community service. My mom is on here. My mom will tell you. My mom had me doing like soup kitchens, clothing drives, and things like that at 3 damn years old, like learning that we may not have all that we need, but there's someone else who's less unfortunate. And to me, to see a company just flat out say, no, we're not going to deal with that. We're going to put you in your place because of how you're treating someone that is a part of our franchise and that matters to our show. Like, yes, I'm going to start watching General Hospital again.
But what surprised me about all this? Jeannie Francis, who played Laura back in like 1970 something, is
we mentioned that
she's still
on the show.
And she went into Tabiana's defense too.
I think the skin secret. It might be surgery, to be fair, but I'm not knocking nobody to get surgery. But how is it that these women like
come on, come here.
The way that they're looking. Who is this?
This is the chair of the National Newspaper Publicists Association. Mr. Bobby Henry, say hello to the Let It Be Known audience. You didn't have to get on your knee like that. What are you gonna propose?
No, I'm around royalty. So this is my humble way of submitting myself to the services of the 2 minute, almost 2 minute warning, right? That's my show. Hashtag Let It Be Known.
He got to give his show a plug. 2 minute warning, Thursday nights.
Yeah, exactly. Let me congratulate y'all, really.
Thank you.
For all the hard work that you guys do. And just when you think nobody is watching, everybody is watching.
Well, we know we got our team out there watching. That's for sure. We just so happy to have been recognized, because like we've been pointing out, the most important thing that this thing says is Black excellence.
Black excellence.
Black excellence.
Unapologetically.
Well, you could have put that on there too.
I didn't have enough time, Stacey. They caught me on the spur of the moment. But but I am. And to the viewing audience, please like, share, pass it on, do what you do.
See, now we got a publisher talking sense when they use the word share.
Yeah.
when they use the word
please
share.
do that. And then where's Austin? Is Austin?
Yeah,
out there somewhere?
Bobby's a great and renowned.
Oh, there he
cue.
is.
There he is. On cue.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right on, Austin. Thank you, man.
All right, that's enough. We don't want to
Okay.
give him too much
All right,
credit.
let me go.
Not
Give
too
us something
much.
to
We don't want
eat.
to give him
Not
too
too
much.
much.
Yeah, let me go. Let me go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
No, I am Stacy Brown. Thank you very much. Dawn in the
Yes.
morning. Thank you.
Yes,
Dawn in the
Dawn
morning.
Right.
Dawn in the morning.
Right.
Uh,
God
boy,
bless you all.
thank you. That's the chair, y'all. That's the chair. But American Airlines had announced yesterday that they put an unspecified number of employees on leave for their involvement in an incident in which several Black passengers were removed from a flight in Phoenix over an alleged complaint about body odor. Now, there was 3 Black men, the only Black folk on the plane, and they said there was an odor. Now, they didn't know each other, but they singled those 3 out and took them off the plane, delayed it and everything, and then eventually they went back on the plane.
Right.
Now, American is saying that they have put these employees. They didn't say how many, but they put them on leave.
They need to say how many.
They need to name them.
I need you to be, come on, name them, be clear. I think that's another one of those situations where this isn't even a Band-Aid on it. You
Right.
know, it's still an open wound. You just cleaned it with water.
Right.
You didn't even try to fix the situation per se, because honestly, there's a few things they could have done. They could have named who was involved. They could have actually spoken to the actual incident and said, this is what we know. And since we are putting these people on leave, whether it's a paid leave or unpaid leave, because let's be clear, a lot of people get put on leave, they still making their money, and then they get to come back and do their jobs months later. So i.e. police. Anyway, so and then another thing that they could have done is for those three Black men, they should have had free flights for the rest of the year, if not 2 or 3 years. And the reason being is because I can't even imagine someone trying to kick me off of a flight.
Right.
For something that I know someone of another race generally stinks, right? Like, you're not gonna tell me as a Black person, we wash our legs, we wash our feet, we wash our back, we use washcloths, we use soap. Hell, sometimes we double clean. And you mean to tell me you gonna tell me I stink and I'm supposed to get off this flight, baby? There's no way they would have got me back on there. I would have just had to miss my flight and miss whatever I had to do for the day. But to me, the trauma that comes with somebody trying to tell you something that you are not.
Shonda says it was 8 actual Black men removed. All 8 were removed.
8
3
Black
of them
men.
are suing.
So
I bet the other 5 going to
need-
join in too.
All 8 need free flights for the rest of the year, if not going into 2025.
Look at your boy. Power
I
96.
would say for life too.
Power 96 says his inner Nat Turner is warming up.
Listen, because all it takes is that one run in.
Yes.
And then it's the fact of you don't know what they went through during that day.
Oh,
You don't
God.
know how
The
they
humiliation.
Listen, and people can be really, really rude. And I'll be honest with you, I take a lot of flights. I've been around some funky people. And I'll tell you, only twice have I ever asked to be moved away from said person because I've realized that there are open seats. So I would ask quietly. I would act like I'm going to the bathroom, and I would go find a flight attendant. Ma'am, can I please be moved? And they will ask you, why would you need to be moved? And I'm like, the person next to me stank. And I'm not sitting there for the entire flight. I don't care how long it is to somebody that didn't wash their tail.
Now, I got to bring this up. And I know we're at the, first of all, again, just for those who don't know, we're in Baltimore at the National Newspaper Publicists Association's annual summer conference. Got to bring this up because this morning I woke up to an email, 6:24 a.m. from the Washington Post, a guy named Finet Narapil or whatever, right? Washington Post, mainstream, white paper. It's amazing how white folks try to tell Black folks what's good for them, right? And I have not commented. They called me a few months ago. They called Ron Burke. They called Dr. Chavis. And I refuse to get involved in it because it's something so silly, right? But essentially, and what he did was share his article that he wrote about us today, right? That included us, not just about us, about Black people. And it's about menthol cigarettes. And basically calling people out. Now, I've never smoked a day in my life. I do not promote smoking and don't care for being around folks who smoke. I mean, that's your business,
Right.
but we're not going to be like this.
Right,
you know?
right. I
Right. But he's going in on us and Al Sharpton and the NAACP and others, Black Press, for doing business with like Reynolds, one of our partners, talking about it's harmful for Black folks. Now, I don't need you to tell me you're not Black.
Mhm.
And this is the problem with the white press. They want to control us.
And they want to control the narrative.
And they want to control the narrative. We know what's best and what's not best for us.
And also another thing is can they pick and choose when they want to make it all lives matter, right?
Mhm.
Because this would be a situation where if you said every American or every person or every human, yes, have that conversation for everyone.
Right.
Be more inclusive. Don't sit up here and leave it to us, because I think that's another thing. A lot of these times where they single-handedly say that we did something or it's our demographic that it affects the most, there are other people that it directly affects. And if you want to talk about the healthcare or health scares around that, I think you need to be more inclusive about that. Like, period. Don't come over here telling us stuff. Like,
he hyperlinked
No.
an advertorial that I wrote, and part of his complaint was that we allowed, it's an advertorial that we allowed Jewel or Reynolds or whatever to see and have some say in it. And the thing about it is, it was an advertorial.
yeah.
The Washington Post, come on, where do they take money from? And
Yes, we
he
are.
says always, look, remember yesterday, y'all, he went in our camera shot yesterday, all in the camera shot. Y'all know this guy. Y'all know this guy.
Let it be known for being honored. Did you already tell him that?
Oh,
Yeah,
look,
we've been
I mean,
showing it.
it's only the first time. It's only the first
Look,
time.
it's not the first time. That's like the 10th time. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
Wait.
it is everything. It's beautiful. Look, get into it.
Wait, but don't be leaving out.
The paper.
If you're gonna do it, you got to do it.
Oh my God. Yes.
Look, Tamara says you walked up all
We do
smooth.
this. It's called Ken Burns effect.
The Ken Burns
Yes.
Yeah.
All y'all people do this kind of stuff. You know what that is. Some of us are talent and technical. That's me and Gray.
Look.
This is talent. They don't know when I say Ken Burns effect. They don't know what I'm
But listen, don't go nowhere right quick.
I gotta go to real.
I know you got to go, but real quick, Dawn and I are about to discuss this. Before you go, give us a short commentary. Angel Reese recorded her 7th consecutive double-double, setting a WNBA rookie record as the Sky won the game. Real quick, I know you got to run before Dawn gets into it.
Well, Angel is a great player. First of all, the women are changing the game.
Yes.
Yes.
Go with it.
And I mean, anytime, because I mean, people didn't want to watch, but now they have more high ratings than college thing, and I love it.
Yes.
And it's fun. You like looking at it.
Yeah.
It's funny. I started. We were talking about baseball. Y'all, I'm gonna say this right now. Probably in the next 10 years, they're gonna have to let women play Major League Baseball.
I know that.
And why not?
They are.
Why not?
They got them in. Listen,
It's not the NFL. And I thought about it. It's not.
it
it's not
might
the
any
NFL.
day now. There's going to be a woman manager of Major League
You gonna have
Baseball.
women, you gonna have women pitcher. I mean, why?
Yeah.
not? Yeah. So I love it. And Angel's great. Love her. And let me tell you something. Just to be clear, I don't hate Kayla.
No,
I kind of like her. Listen, if I got a team,
They need you.
no, they don't. If I had a team, she'd be on my team.
100%. But
0% for me.
he said Caitlin would be on his team. I thought he said Angel.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. But so the thing about it is, Mike V says, make it plain and let it be known in the break of dawn. But Angel continues to, and we said this before, stand on
business. And I think that is important, because let's pay attention to how the vets are consistently playing good. You've got Asia Wilson, who she is the face of the league. I don't care if they haven't given her that moniker, they haven't given her that tag, but she is the face of the league. And I don't care how consistently they try to push this pale-faced Miss Corn lady. I said pale-faced corn lady. Okay. on the screen.
Why is she?
Be-
What's the porn?
Like, no, stay over there. But my point is the Black women that have built this league to be where it is today, to then receive players like Angel Reese, Rickea Jackson, Cameron Brink, and Caitlin Clark. That's what it was set up to do. It was set up to be here for this moment. And although the league wasn't ready for this moment, it wasn't ready for this. So we're having to make some adjustments. But I think it's a beautiful thing to see someone like Angel Reese at the end of the day getting rid of the noise and going in and
her mother has been doing the same thing. Angel Reese's mom, I don't know if you follow her on Twitter or not.
Love her.
Yeah, she's been having to deal with a lot of hate. A lot of we talk about the Caitlin Clark. They talk about Caitlin Clark, and they have contrived that. They have contrived that this, mainstream media has come up with this idea that they've made that the players have made Caitlin look like a villain or whatever. They created that. The players could care less.
So the media has done this. And if I'm being honest with you, because I be on this woman's neck all the time, the commissioner of the WNBA, Kathy, I see you, I'm gonna call you out every time, ma'am, has allowed this to be a thing. And to me, if we're gonna be honest, the silence from Caitlin Clark has allowed this to be a thing.
Yes.
And even when she did address
she finally did.
It was after she had already said that she doesn't pay attention to that stuff. She doesn't do blah, blah, blah. But hours later, somebody got her together and said, nope, somebody's going to ask you another question and we're going to run that back. And that's the thing that we're going to let go viral. And so to me, when people show you who they are, believe them. She wants to be this, or she wants to exist the way that she wants to. And I can respect that on one hand. But when you see that your players, that your coach, that the fans are being attacked by calling you out because you have to earn your spot in this damn league. I don't care about the eyes. I don't care about the marketing that some of these NBA players or NBA fans, and when I say M, I mean men, males, whatever, NBA people are jumping up saying, you don't understand the business model of the basketball leagues, or you don't understand what she's supposed to be to the league. You don't understand the entertainment factor. No, I understand basketball.
Well, let's
I understand the sport.
look what your boy, your man here, I shouldn't say boy, your man said Angel Reese is the rookie of the year, but we all know the mayonnaise girl will win the award. Too many Black men, he says, will cry for the male girl.
And that's been the biggest thing.
That's a problem.
That's been the biggest thing. Like Angel Reese, players like that are consistently showing you that they're a part of the game too. And you have no choice but to recognize them because they're setting records like this. They're showing up every night. Are you not entertained is what Renee Montgomery would say from Atlanta Dream. Like, let me tell you something. I am thoroughly entertained and I can do this and be someone who has been a season ticket holder for the Atlanta Dream, has been somebody that has watched this league since its inception. My mom can speak to this. We made sure we had cable so we could watch the WNBA or catch the games and things like that so that we could support these women. Someone that has been supportive of this league for its entire inception and existence does not care about one person. We care about all of the characters. We care about all of the players. We care about all of the humans that put this together and make this thing happen. That's what matters.
There you go, Rose Barron.
Oh, my mom.
And she's 100% right. If you notice, historically in sports, a certain demographic is always looking for their great hope. It takes me back, and I can fill in the word that she left out.
White.
Great white hope takes me back to. Now, I was never a big Larry Holmes fan, and that was in large part because he destroyed an old Muhammad Ali. But Larry Holmes was a record machine. He was the heavyweight champion of the world. And they put this guy from Long Island named Jerry Cooney They built him up. He hadn't beaten anyone except they pull people out of bars and he would fight
He would
them
fight
and
them.
knock them out.
Mhm.
And Larry Holmes would call him Looney Jerry Cooney. And he was billed in the New York newspapers as the Great White Hope. They were very transparent.
Yeah, and-
Great White Hope.
like they did that,
And they put him
made
in the ring,
sure.
and Larry Holmes promptly dispatched him.
And see, that's the part that I feel that we consistently, as people, as Black people, always have to show up as our best, be our best, do our best, and we continue to dispel any myths that are against us as a people. You know, for instance, like, and you know, Etoro was talking about MAGA has pinned their grievances on number 22 from Indiana. Let me tell you something, Matt Leinart, don't let me catch you out here.
Uh-oh.
And many of you know him as a former Heisman Trophy winner, former decorated, you know, award-winning, you know, quarterback from USC, Southern California. But let me tell you how he tried to say that Angel Reese was not needed in this league, and that how she fouled Caitlin or whatever, she should have been suspended. No, sir, your entire existence should have been suspended, and you only won that Heisman Trophy because of the players that you were playing with.
Yep.
Now, that's all I'm gonna say, because at the end of the day, you have players like that, former athletes, like decorated athletes, who, instead of you just shutting up and doing your job because you on TV now, you got to jump into this conversation and be rude about how you single out one player. That man ain't said nothing about the WNBA, but he said something about Angel Reese.
And Tamara is spot on here, and I keep seeing it even with Stephen A. Smith. I keep seeing it with Charles Barkley and others.
Smith can be with Matt Leinart too.
Yeah, she says craziest part of this that they are telling former WNBA players that they don't know the game.
And you know, I still think to this day that everybody that had something to say about what Cheryl Swoops had mentioned about Caitlin having to come into this game and learn it, I think everybody owes her an apology. Cheryl Swoops is one of the greatest
Of all time.
Of all time.
Oh my God.
And you mean to tell me you're going to tell her that she doesn't know what she's talking about? Absolutely not. So,
and finally, I
proud.
gotta bring this up too before we go. Tamara says that let's be clear, this isn't just about race; it's also about sexuality.
Yes.
Caitlin is both white and straight. That's why they like her over the others.
Because let me tell you something. Shouts out to the queer Black women that built this league and is still in this league, and we are fans of this league. Okay, and let's be honest about that conversation too, because that's exactly what it is. And GQ, count your damn days. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Count your days. And the reason why I say that is because the player that you chose from the WNBA, that is, I think it was like the rookie best dressed player.
Oh God.
That girl is number one. Like, you had Rakia Jackson sitting right there. You had Cameron Brink sitting right there. Why does this cap Angel Reese? Half the time I don't know what that baby putting together, but she be looking good. You know what I'm saying? I can't wear it. I can't do it. So do your thing. But no, like, they consistently look for these women, especially in this league, to platform and champion that fit that mold, that fit the commercial look or the mainstream look that they want to promote around this league. And let me tell you something, you're gonna make more money promoting the Black queer folks every single time, and being there and being inclusive every single time. We gonna bring our money. Those are the fans that are in the stands, and you don't want to lose them. Damn all this marketing or whatever, like, you know, no, grow the game the right way, or figure out how to grow the game and be inclusive.
Right. Now I gotta get you guys' opinion on this. Well, you're you know, flew me in on something here, right? So when I'm away like this, and like Shanae says, she has a hard time sleeping. I have a hard time sleeping. You know, and but I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going somewhere with this, and I need y'all feedback on this. So you've seen her earlier, right? Now this week, she hasn't had a hard time sleeping. I haven't heard from her like overnight. Now she's talking about Method Man. Is it possible that Method Man is?
No,
is that possible?
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because if he was, she wouldn't be on this show trying to comment.
But wait, but she didn't comment the last couple of days, so I'm wondering.
No, we're not gonna do that. She was
getting
her rest. She was getting. You see how beautiful your wife is, sir.
I'm just, you know, I mean, I'm not trying to hate. I'm just trying to find out some information here.
There's nothing to question.
harsh.
Right. Listen,
You see that?
Shanae is our Claire Huxtable. You will not.
Claire. I don't know. I don't know. I got other names for her. Other than Claire. We'll leave it at that. But we'll let it be known. But we want y'all to subscribe. Keep subscribing to our YouTube page. It was so beautiful to see all these new viewers this morning, commenting and getting involved. And we want y'all involved. We've had Power 96 on the show. We reaching out to Michelle. We saw Michelle here the other day. David, I'm expecting David tonight for the gala. All of you guys are invited. We appreciate you so much. And share, as Bobby Henry said, make sure you share the broadcast and support your local Black newspapers.
We won an award, y'all.
The award winning. Let it be known.
Yay.
We'll see you again next week. Thanks for joining us.